Hello, welcome to lesson 3 of module 3. Now in this lesson, it's very simple, and I'm just going to be covering a few numbers and statistics within AdSense. I'm not going to go too in depth because you really don't need to know all this complicated stuff. Some of it is just so complicated and you actually don't need to bother with it. People are always going to overcomplicate everything, always going to overthink everything, but you know what, it's not needed. Okay, that's why people don't move forward, because they think too much, and because of those thoughts they never progress. So I'm just going to go over some quick numbers, the ones you actually need to know about, and right now it wouldn't matter too much, but I want you to get familiar with the terms and the things which I will show you, and how you're actually going to access all of these certain statistics. Okay, so first thing is, you're going to go, when you're on home, you begin here. When you log into AdSense, you go on performance reports. Now the first thing you'll see is always this will show you last 7 days how much has been earned. Over here, you can go in all time, you can see how much is earned, and you can just go in today and see how much has been earned. Alright, now within here, the main statistics people will always talk about, and you always hear them, is the page RPM. So I believe this is how much you make per 1,000 impressions, and we can actually confirm that by looking here. Look, page RPM is the average earnings per 1,000 page views. Okay, this is the page views. Now page views is how many visitors actually came onto your site in that specific day. Page views, how many visitors on your site. RPM, how much money you made per 1,000 visitors. Now if I show you on the calculator, 3346 divided by 1,000 times 10.93 gives us 36.57, and you can see how close that is to 36.59. And of course, it's always gonna be a little bit off, due to the fact that there might have been extra little pennies on the side, there might have been one extra click, blah blah blah. It's never gonna be totally accurate. Page views, page RPM, they link. This is what everyone will always talk about. And yeah, so impressions, what this is how many times the ads have actually been viewed on that site. So 3,346 people entered my site, but because I had 3 ad placements, because of that, I know that them 3 ad placements, they were presented basically 3 ads were presented to 1 person. So this number is kinds of times 3, and this is what has been generated. And let's just actually put that into the calculator and see how accurate it would be. Times 3, that's 10,038. And the reason I have very near to that number, and we have 3 ad placements, as I've taught you to set up your sites with 3 ad placements, 1 sidebar ad over here, 1 banner ad at the top, and 1 banner ad at the bottom. That's how we move, and that's why the impressions will always be around 3 times greater than the page views. Second thing I always will look at, and you will look at when you start optimizing and scaling, and this is this is the overview tab, yep, but instead the tab I always look at, because it covers everything, is actually the clicks tab. Now over here you can see how much has been earned, the impressions, how many clicks have actually came through these impressions or the page views. Shows you the click-through rate. And so the click-through rate is basically, let's say 1,000 people entered my site today, yes. Now the click-through rate is how many people, the percentage of people who clicked on my ads from those 1,000 people. Now 0.97% clicked on the ads, which resulted in this number here. And that's it. So what we're really looking at here is just, we're seeing the page views, then we're looking at a page RPM. But this won't matter. Okay, this doesn't matter, because I like to keep things simple. I do the bare minimum. I don't go very advanced in looking into numbers, but people will always ask about this. And when you see RPMs like this, it's a positive sign. If it's above £5-6, it's positive. Take note of that, because many of you are going to say, you're going to want to know the numbers before you actually start taking action. Yes, so page RPM, look for £5 to £6 plus, but it doesn't have to be that necessarily all the time. You can still be profitable at £3. Just dependent on how cheap your incoming traffic is. So with me, I like to keep it simple. I just look at input, output. I see how much money went in that day, I see how much came out. And then when you optimize the scale, then you look deeper. Now, when I clicked on the clicks tab, I actually confused everyone watching this video. So I am actually going to ignore this tab right now, and I only want you to know about the estimated earning, page views, page RPM, and you know what? You should also look at the cost per click. CTR, you know, you should know this, and it takes a big part in it. Our goal click-through rate is 2 to 3% minimum. Okay, please note that down. Goal CTR equals 2 to 3%. Now, cost per click, you want this to be at least above, let's say 15 cents. Okay, now that doesn't go to say that you can't be profitable with less cost per click, because your traffic could actually be cheaper, your click-through rate could actually be greater. Now, all of this, when I'm speaking, is actually really confusing you, and you know, maybe if you watch this video a second time, a third time, you might get the point of what I'm saying. And I speak fast. I'm sorry about that, but if you do have any questions, you pop them in the group and I get them answered. But do not confuse yourself over this video. I just wanted to cover a few numbers. I want you to actually know what they are, and I'm going to do one last overview. Estimated earnings, how much you made for the day. Page views, how many people actually entered your site on that day. Impressions, how many times your ads were shown. Clicks, how many people actually clicked on those ads. Page RPM, how much was made per 1,000 page views. Okay, impression RPM is just how much money was made per 1,000 impressions, which would be this. And this I actually never looked into. I have no idea what it is, and it really doesn't matter. Clicks tab. Okay, over here what we look at, estimated earnings, how much made in that day, from clicks. Click-through rate. Impressions, obviously, as I said, how many times your ads were shown. Clicks, how many times those ads were clicked. Click-through rate, the percentage of people who actually clicked on those ads. The cost per click, how much money was made per click on that ad. And impression RPM, as I explained before, how much money was made per 1,000 impressions on that day. That's it. That's all you need to know. I'm actually going to end this video over here. If you have any questions, do pop them in the group, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next lesson.